Hello, 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 Flyers fans. It is July 3rd, and we got a whopping, hopping video coming to you. And before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to all those men and women that have previously and are currently serving in the United States military. Thank you so much. Without you all, we wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be able to do this video with you. And I just want to say thank you to all our followers who have served. One of our writers, Tyler Ledbetter, he's in Germany. He's one of the best Marines I know. Justin Murray always watches. He's a friend of mine, and he's a Marine. Dale, Doug, I love you all. My brother served in. It's just great. You guys are phenomenal. Many people made the ultimate sacrifice to keep us safe and free, and it's beyond words on what they have done, for us. With that being said, proud to be in America, where at least I know I'm free. And we won't forget that man who died, who gave that right to me. And we gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Man, what a great song by Lee Greenwood. In any sense, let's get into this video. Who will be the best Flyers player for the upcoming NHL playoffs that is set to resume in the beginning of August? Well, that's an easy question. I've been over it millions and millions of times. You have Claude Giroux, you have Jakub Voracek, you also have Travis Konechny, a young Travis Konechny. You have a Joel Farabee who's going to come in and just, kill it. Trust me, he will be there in the opening day lineup. Of course, you have Kevin Hayes, but there's a player that is very clutch, and he was comparable to Ivan Provorov, and I kept him in there too. Sean Couturier. Coots, I'm sorry, but it's going to be Coots. Coots it just takes his game apparently to a whole nother level in the NHL playoffs. He completed this season with 22 goals and 37 assists. For a total of 59 points in 69 games played. His 37 assists were the second on the team for the Philadelphia Flyers. He was also tied with Travis Konechny in that area. Travis Konechny really took his game to another level this past season, and that was one of my reasonings to think that it could possibly be TK for that matter. But no, Sean Couturier in the year 2017-18 playoffs against the Pittsburgh Penguins, he played what was in the final few games with a torn MCL. And with that being said, his final game, he ended with a hat trick in an 8-5 loss. For those particular playoffs, he tallied 5 goals and 4 assists in 6 games played. 9 points in 6 games played. And 2 of them were with a torn MCL. Unbelievable, because I can tell you, there aren't many players that would have done that. Now, of course, Provorov played with one arm in that particular playoffs too, so there were a few warriors going on in that area. And of course, Sean Couturier was taken out by his own man in Rocco Gudis in practice. Of course, it wasn't on purpose by any means, but still happened nonetheless. And I just think that Sean Couturier is just going to take his game to a whole nother level this time too. But in fact, I think the Flyers are going to reach the Eastern Conference Finals at the very least, if not the Stanley Cup Finals. So I think he's going to extend his points, and it's just going to be fun to watch, Flyers fans. I don't want to get, you pumped up. I'm starting to feel it now. I'm getting all pumped up, and the hair is starting to stick off my back as I'm talking about, Sean Couturier. And rightfully so. I mean, the guy plays a hell of a two-way game. He's one of the best two-way forwards in the NHL. And I don't think he gets enough recognition for what he does from the NHL in particular. A lot of Flyers don't, for that matter. Yesterday there was a seeding that came out, top 16 NHL defensemen. Ivan Provorov was not one of them. And I left my head scratching. And I was trying to figure out how not. And that's just the same thing as about Coots. I mean, to me, he's a top 5 two-way forward in the NHL for a centerman. And that's how good this guy is. I think he should win the Selke, hands down. I mean, he does everything that's asked. And when he's hurt or is sick, we saw him, when he was sick. I think it was against the Islanders. He potted 2 goals. 2 goals, and the guy's almost throwing up. 2 goals. It just appears when he gets sickness or gets hurt, he just takes his game to a whole nother level. And that's what makes him great. And this guy is going to come in motivated. This is the best Flyers team that he has ever played with. And yes, I will admit that for sure. This is the best Flyers team since 2010, in my opinion. I think they are very comparable to 2010, but I also think that they're better than the 2010 team. And I think if you were to ask, some players who were on that 2010 team, like Claude Giroux, he would tell you that probably they are better. And I think they're a little more, and a lot of it has to do with depth. That no matter who gets hurt, and we saw it throughout the regular season, Oscar Lindblom was, missed half the season, rightfully. Thankfully, he rang the bell, yesterday, and thank God he's doing well. And we were praying for him very hard, and I know all you all were too. But I'm just saying he missed about half the season for a reason, and Nolan Patrick missed the entire season. And when you miss those two quality players like that, and the Flyers finished second in the Metro with 89 points, 1 point behind the Washington Capitals, that's really saying something. If anybody told me that those two particular players were going to be missing for a period of time, and the Flyers could sit in second place with 89 points, I would have said, yeah, okay. But a lot of that has to do with the play of Sean Couturier. He just took his game to a whole nother level this year. Now, did he rack up the points and everything else that he was accustomed to from the prior years? No. But it's not all about producing stat-wise. First off, it was a brand new coach that came in Alain Vigneault. Sean Couturier played in every situation, and he's just a monster at the face-off dot. And I think that should get some recognition too, because that helps the penalty kill. It just helps the flow of the power play, winning those crucial face-offs. And that's what Sean Couturier does. And he does it so well. And what he does is he plays top line after top line, night after night, and still puts up 59 points in 69 games played. That's a hell of a thing to do. And I just feel like he's never off the ice. He's always on the ice. And that's exactly why I think he's going to have, a clutch playoffs. And I think he could end up in upwards of 10 to 12 goals, for the entire playoffs. And that's really saying something, because the guy was an offensive powerhouse in his junior, when he played in juniors and stuff. And, and there should be no reason why Sean Couturier can't take his game to another level in this coming 2020, NHL playoffs here in August. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this video, but I'll tell you, Coot! And shout it from the rooftops, because the guy should win the Selke. And, those awards, hopefully, we'll see on who wins those awards next week. But this video is about Sean Couturier having a monster playoffs, and a monster playoffs he will, for sure. Take care, y'all. I love you all. God bless the USA. And for all those, that are listening abroad, thank you so much for allowing me into your household. It is an absolute honor to come on and do these videos. And we don't always have to agree, but one thing stands for certain. You know your hockey, too, and I know my hockey. So we go hand in hand with one another. Love you all. Be safe.